Hi everybody, it's Katie. So today's project is we're going to be making a mala necklace. We have done pearl knotting and gemstone knotting on this channel previously, and this is very similar. The biggest difference is the amount of beads and the way that we end it. And there is no clasp. It's just one continuous strand that you slip over your head. So what is a mala? A mala is traditionally used in meditation, and it is 108 beads long. It also usually has a guru bead, which is our focal here, which we have a cool little carved elephant. A lot of times it does have a tassel, and I love tassels, so we're adding a tassel. And then it can have marker beads. The marker beads you want to add in multiples of 9, like the placement is in multiples of 9. So you could do it every 9 beads. I did it every 18. So it's like 18 marker, 18 marker, 18, and then the marker in the back. You can add them more frequently or less frequently as long as it's in a multiple of 9. We are going to be using these beautiful Amazonite beads. Amazonite beads stand for like good luck and prosperity. Coincidentally, elephants also stand for good luck, and we can use all the luck we can get. Alrighty. Why 108 beads, you may ask? There's a bunch of different schools of thought on why 108 beads. The one that I found that I like is that the 1 stands for a higher power, 0 stands for humility, and 8 is infinity. So you can do more research and find the meaning that resonates with you. All right, so this necklace is quite long. It's about 42 inches long with the 8mm beads that I used. And then the elephant head and the tassel added about another 4 inches in length. So it's quite long. This one I can actually double around my head. And so then I can wear it doubled and it's not quite so long. But depending on how big your head is, you may or may not be able to do that. Now, if you did use a 6mm bead, these are an 8, it would be a little bit shorter. So keep that in mind when picking out beads for your mala, that I would recommend a 6 to an 8mm bead. Anything bigger is going to be really, really long. You can choose whatever beads that you like best. Let's get into the project, shall we? Okay, let's get started, shall we? Alrighty. So to start with, we need to attach our elephant, our focal we have here, to our cord, okay? So now for our cord, we are going to need 9.5 feet to make our necklace with the 8mm beads. And we're gonna need 2 cords. So we have 2 cords coming out each side because the holes in these beads are really large. So if your holes in your gemstone beads are too large to make a knot big enough that it doesn't like pull inside of the bead, then you will need to do 2 cords, all right? Let me go ahead and cut this and we'll be right back. Okay, so I have cut 2 pieces of my cording that are 9.5 feet long, all right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to find the end of the 2 tails on one side, and I'm going to use my big eye needle, and I'm going to thread my cords through there. Now I need to put it through my elephant focal, but because of the way that he is drilled, I can't just slip my needle through there. It gets stuck. So I'm going to sacrifice this needle for this project, and I'm going to put like a curve in it and make it kind of like a fish hook. All right, and you can see that, and I might have to adjust it more. I think I'm gonna have to do the curve a little bit more. Yeah, it's still getting stuck in there, so I'm gonna have to make it even more of a drastic like curve on that needle. All right, let's try and see if I can get it through here. Aha! So see if you can see that it's starting to come out the other side. So I had to make it like a little fish hook. And then, oh, I lost one of my threads. Thread that back through the needle. Yes, okay. All right, so I'm going to grab that end of the needle and I'm going to pull it through and see how, what I said, I sacrificed the needle, because look at it, it's all curly cued now. So I'm going to take that off of my threads because I can't use a needle that is all curly cued like that. Come on, give me my thread back. All right. So that was my sacrificial needle. He did his job. He served well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 ends of my cord and I'm going to find the other 2 ends of my cord because I want to pull that elephant head down to, oops, oh, there's so much cord, down to the bottom. Now when I'm all done knotting, I have about a foot of cord on each side left, and you always want to have like extra cord, like you'd rather have more cord than less cord when you're done. All right, so I'm going to pull that elephant head down into the center of my cord. So you can see that there's 2 on each side. Now I'm going to take my Amazonite beads and I'm going to put all 4 cords through 1 bead just to start with, okay? Okay, I'm going to take a new big eye needle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to again find the ends of this, and I'm going to have all 4 cords through the eye of this needle. And now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find a bead that you can fit all of these cords through. So on gemstone beads, a lot of times there are variation in the drilling, so you might have to try a couple beads before you find one that will fit through 4, or alternatively what you can do is you can ream out a bead to put all 4 through. All right, so I'm having trouble getting all 4, so what I'm going to actually do is I am going to take out 2 cords and just have 2 cords on there. See if I can do it like this. I threaded 2 cords on, and now I'm going to thread 1 cord on and go through the beads. Be careful if you do it this way that you don't split the cords that are already through the bead when you add the next one, because it would cause you problems really. All right, so let's try and get my last one through. Again, be careful not to split the cords. There we go. And now we got all 4 through. So you might just have to do, 1 at a time or something like that. All right, let's pull this bead all the way down to our elephant. And this is going to help everything sit really nice. I had tried it before where I put a bead on either side where it came out of the elephant, and it just didn't sit as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a check to make sure that all of my cords are the same length at the end, because I don't want to end up with any cord that's super short. They are pretty close in length. I might just try and get them just a tad closer. Make all the tails meet. Pull this down and adjust it accordingly. Okay. There we go. So it's nice and centered in the middle of our 4 cords. And then now what we are going to do is we are going to separate these out so that you have 2 cords on each side. All right, for our 2 sides of our necklace. Now, to do our knots, what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 cords. You're going to sit your focal in your hand like this. You're going to take your cords. You're going to wrap it around your fingers. Cross it over the top. I hold that cross section with my thumb. And then on this side, this is the tail end here, and this is the part that you've wrapped around your fingers. You're going to go under, you're going to grab that loose tail, you're going to pull it all the way through, and now you have like a loose knot around your hand. What you're going to do is you're going to take your tweezers, go under this tight thread here, and grab the 2 threads, just the 2 of them, that are coming out of your bead. And you want to grab it towards the very end of your tweezers to get a really nice tight knot, okay? So I'm going to take my hand out. The knot is now around my tweezers, and I'm going to pull it all the way down to my beads. Now sometimes because you have 2 cords, you might have to pull 1 cord at a time to work it nice and tight. And then what I usually do is I'll push my fingernails at the top of that knot, push down when I pull out my tweezers. And then again, you can go in and tighten it up by pushing it down with your fingernails on this hand and pulling the cords. Occasionally I might have to go in and pull like one cord and then the second cord for the two cords that I knotted. So right here at the beginning it gets a little jumbled because you're like, oh, you've got all of these cords. They're all coming out of the same bead. But as we get going, it will be much, much easier. Okay, so now I need to do the other side. So I have a knot on these two cords. Now I'm going to do a knot on these two cords. Again, hold it in your hand, wrap around your hand, cross the top, go back behind the tight one, grab both loose ones, pull it all the way through, and then take your tweezers under here and grab those two cords at the very tip of your tweezers, close to the bead. Take your hand out, leaving the knot on your tweezers, and pull all the way down. Okay, like I said, it gets a little confusing here with so many cords. Pull that nice and tight and remove it. Okay. So if you get a knot where it's not close to your bead, as you can see here, like it didn't get as tight as what I wanted it to. All you need to do is loosen it up a little bit, the knot that you just placed in, and then redo it. You can use an awl or a safety pin to help you loosen the knot and pull it out, but be careful again not to split the cords because the cords are like two cords twisted together for each one. I'm going to go ahead and get this knot out and do it one more time. Okay, so I've taken my knot out and did a new knot, made it nice and tight, so I have a knot on each side. Now what I need to do is I'm going to need to add all the rest of my beads. So I'm going to take one side, the two cords from the one side, and I'm going to put on my big eye needle on that side. Okay. And I'm going to thread on one bead and pull it all the way down to the top of that one knot. Now we're going to do the same thing we did with the first couple knots where we put it in our hand, wrap it around, go through, pull this all the way through, take our tweezers under, grab it at the top of the bead, take your hand out, and then tighten everything up. Like I said, since we're working with two threads, you might have to be a little bit more careful to pull each thread individually sometimes to get it really nice and tight. But there you go. So I'm just going to continue adding beads and knotting. Now we are placing our marker beads, which are these guys here, after we add 18 beads. So we're going to have, I'm not counting this one here, that's right above the elephant. I'm just going to count the ones on each side. So we're going to have 18 beads and then a marker, 18 beads and a marker, 18 beads, and then the end. And I'll come back, I'm going to do all the knots, add in all of the markers and everything, and then I will show you how to attach the other end because there is no clasp. This just slips over your head. Real quick, I'm going to show you the one that I have finished where I've done the markers. It does have a knot between this bead and the marker, and then between the marker and this bead, but the holes in the markers are really big, so they kind of pull up inside of the bead a little bit, and that's okay. All right, don't worry about that. Just get it as close as you can, and it'll sit just nice and fine. But anyways, all right, so I'm going to get knotting. I'm going to knot the rest of this necklace, and I'm going to come back and show you how to attach the two ends together. Okay, so let's finish off our necklace. We have all of our beads knotted on here, and we're about to attach the two sides together. So on one side, you should just be ending with a bead, and the other side, you've added your last marker bead. Okay, so what I've done is I've added a needle to this side of the necklace, and my cord is coming out of my marker bead, and I need to insert my other cord going the other direction. So I'm just going to thread that through and pull it all the way through, and now you can see how it connects the two sides of my necklace. Now I need to add a knot so that it doesn't come apart, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around my hand a couple times, and I'm going to hold on to this side, and I'm going to create a knot. So to create a knot, all you're going to do is you are going to wrap that around your beads like so, and then take the tails and push it through the loop. So now you have like a knot, a loose knot around your necklace here. Okay, and now all I'm going to do is pull it tight. I want this to be nice and tight. That's why I wrap the cord around this hand and I'm holding onto this so it doesn't slip out. So I want this to be nice and tight. Now I like to do a couple knots, so I'm just going to do another one where I make a loop around my beads. See, I'm just making a loop and then tucking the tails through. And now I have my loose knot, and then I'm tightening it up. And you might have to go back and pull on one thread and then the other to get it really nice and tight. Okay, and then I'll go to the other side and I'll do the same thing, whereas this is already kind of holding on to it. So I'll make a loop and pull the tails through and pull it nice and tight, and then maybe do one more knot. Pulling on each tail to really get it nice and tight. All right. And then what you can do is you can go in, you can add like a little dab of glue on your knots. Hypo cement is a good glue to use if you have some. And then you're all good to go. Yay! All right, thanks for watching. I hope you guys had fun. Bye! I'm back. One quick thing is I was going to show you something else you could do with this. You can actually sear the cord. Because Eslon is a nylon cord, you can actually sear it. You do have to be careful because you're going to be close to your bead and this wood bead and your fingers, obviously. So proceed with caution. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this off fairly close to my beads. Can you see that little knob right there? All right, now again, proceed with caution. Just going to kind of pull it towards the Eslon, back off a little bit. I'm not putting it in the flame, I'm just using the heat from the flame to kind of ball it up there. The downside to this is you could end up with a little scratchy bit by on the back of your neck. All right, and then we're going to do the other side. Same thing. Sharper scissors would help. And then again, see the little end? Bring it towards it. I'm not putting it in it, just using the heat from the edge of the flame to flatten it out. And there you go. Just like that. So use glue or flame, whichever you're more comfortable with, to finish off those knots. And now you have a finished mala. All right, once again, thanks for watching. Bye.